Now, it's no secret that Nitro Math was one of the worst ideas that Nitro Types had in a while. I'm just going to tell you why Nitro Type flopped and how I would have redesigned it to make it better. There's aspects of Nitro Math that did good. The only good aspect was the player base, community base. The reason why it flopped, though, is actually deeper than that. It flopped because it had no intrinsic value over Nitro Type, no intrinsic educational plus value. So what that means is that only educational value was on that game, no intrinsic good value was on that game. So examples of this way education and this way of entertainment and education make a crossroads at Nitro Type. They don't make a crossroads in Nitro Math. Entertainment was mainly score based. So let's say I got 50 points, my friend taxing typist got 56 points. We'd go, that's a good game, we got good points. Community based stuff, how I would redesign it is I would add the scoreboards back, top 100 teams, top 100 players. I would add incentives to play Nitro Math, achievements. I would add reasonable gameplay. I would add more than one game mode. So for example, you have the running around on the map game mode. Why don't we make a click game mode where you click on the right answer and you're on the racetrack? Not necessarily that hard to do, but more so to where it would be easier to get higher points. Not make everything points based, but make everything game based, like I said. Or I didn't really say that, but I incentivized it with the leaderboard. Make it game based, not point based. Because when you make it point based, you're specifically telling people to grind points out in addition or whatever. When you make it game based, you're telling people to go and grind out however what you want. That would encourage sandbagging, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. You could look at reasons why people chose point based over game based, but I just don't think it would matter. One game mode, it feels super repetitive. Nitro Math was super repetitive. People did 100 games, got bored, and never did it again. You could say the same thing about Nitro Type, but at least with Nitro Type, there's a skill curve that just isn't in Nitro Math. You get to the top of Nitro Math within a couple months. It was such a low player retention too, because people would try it and then leave. Everybody I asked from Nitro Type tried it and left. That's the reason why it flopped. The player retention was horrible. So there's inherently no replayability, which is why it flopped. It felt like a side project. It didn't feel like a complete game in and of itself. It was in beta, I will give it that, but even then it felt like a side project. Low retention. You shouldn't have dropped it if it was just going to be a beta side project. You should have dropped it whenever it was actually meant to drop, instead of making us wait all this time and then just dangling over it up for a couple of years and then leaving.